Have you ever come to a realization in your life where you felt that you never prioritized your life, yourself, your own well being, your own feelings, your own emotions? You, you were never the main character of your own story. And I've come to that realization recently. I realized that I started caring more for other people than I started caring for myself. I started clapping more for other people, but I wouldn't clap for myself. I started putting a lot of people's needs before my own. Somebody said they needed to be helped with something, or I noticed that somebody was broken, and I took it upon myself to help them fix themselves. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad thing. Helping people is never a bad thing. You need community, you need friends, you need parents, you need your partners. Helping people is not necessarily a bad thing, but prioritizing helping people over yourself is where the disconnect comes. This is where you move from a main character in your own story to a side character. You are no longer the main character in your own story. You now moved yourself to the wayside for other people. You you become useful to everyone else, and you start losing sight of yourself. You start losing sight of what matters to you. You start focusing more on building them than building yourself. You stop building your own life. You stop doing things that makes you you. Like I said, this is not an inherently bad thing. Helping people has never been a bad thing. Very recently, I started reading a book called The Courage to Be Disliked. And in there's this very youthful man and the philosopher, and they have this back and forth that spans over weeks, months. And the philosopher helps this young man realize that you need community, you need interpersonal relationships. But how you deal with interpersonal relationships, how you deal with these people you come into contact with, is one of the most important things you can do, because you teach people, you show them how you want to be treated when you interact with them. And in the book, it mentions Adlerian psychology. And when I first came upon that, I was taken aback because it fits so well into the space that I'm currently in, the mental space I'm currently in. Because you get so wrapped up in life. You have work, you have your job, you have things you need to do, you have hobbies. You get so wrapped up that you barely have a moment to yourself. And for a brief moment, I sat down and I realized that I'd slowly became a side character in my own life. And once I made that realization, I asked myself a question. Does this mean that I stop caring about other people? Does this mean that I don't value people anymore? Quite contrary. But it's not that when you change, you become selfish, that you don't care about people, that you don't want to help people, that you don't clap for their success or whatever happens. So it's more about I'm going to include myself in my own life because I too have goals. I too have my own ambition. I too have things that I want to do. And this is just a small point in my life where I realized, like, you know, you have to make yourself the main character. But by being the main character doesn't mean that you cast aside people, doesn't mean that you throw them away. You just become better at pushing yourself first. And that's one of the main points that I wanted to make with this video. Always remember to put yourself first. Don't cast yourself aside. Don't make yourself the side character when you should be the main character in your own story. That's all that I wanted to say for this video. Just another piece on the journey that I started.